All right, if you're interested in the number, and these are things that we pay a little bit of attention to around here. Caesars Sportsbook has the Dogs laying 13, which is the largest spread in any playoff or BCS national championship game. If you're interested in the money line, a little nibble for the Horned Frogs, that would be plus 430. Your over-under is 63 flat. Rece Davis, man, we love this sport, don't we? And I'd say, I just said to Herbie and Chris, I think college football deserved a day this good. How would you frame what we watched between TCU and Michigan and then what we just enjoyed between Ohio State and Georgia?
Well, first off, Scott, I think in the 9-year history of the playoff, clearly this was the best semifinal day by a long shot. And this Georgia-Ohio State game, I would say, was only eclipsed by the double overtime Georgia-Oklahoma game in 2017. So I think it's the second best semifinal game ever, one of the greatest postseason games ever, no matter what, because you're splitting hairs. And look, it was just a remarkable performance. Stetson Bennett didn't play his best game for a long time, and then stepped up and made the plays at the end, driving his team for the win. And then Max Duggan, the way he continually answered when Michigan kept knocking at the door, I think it showed a lot about, we had caught up in recruits and 5-stars and big-time guys and how they're going to be in the pros. And you got Stetson Bennett and Max Duggan, who just sort of grinded and gritted their way to a tremendous career, and they'll be meeting for a national championship.
Georgia's performance in the fourth quarter against Bama in the title game a year ago, I remember Nick just smiling. He shook Kirby's hand and said he kicked our ass in the fourth. And once again, those final 15 minutes, there's a reason everybody holds those fours up. I would ask you the same thing I asked Chris. What did Georgia demonstrate over the course of those last 15 minutes to erase a 14-point lead against an Ohio State team that brought its best tonight?
Daring, bravado, and pure guts. And when I'm talking about that, there were a couple throws. One, Ohio State had a defensive back slip on the long touchdown to Arian Smith. But there was a throw on the final drive, too. That's the play, the long touchdown.
Right.
But there was also a play on the final drive that he fit into Brock Bowers to move the chains and kind of get them in position, get the drive going.
Yep.
That just showed you got to be brave. And that's what Georgia is. Georgia is not afraid of the moment. And it looked like they were in trouble, looked like they were down, if not out. And they stepped up and made the plays that champions make, for sure. And, Scott, when I was up on the trophy stand giving away the championship trophy for the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, Stetson Bennett, before we started, was saying to his teammates, not we won, not great job, we get to prepare for another week. He was selling them on, hey, we get to prepare for another week. Yeah, he loves this, and it's one of the great stories in the history of the sport, I think.
And since it just happened, I'm interested in your thoughts as well on Ohio State and Michigan. These are two storied rivals. We know that each left the game they played in Columbus feeling very differently. And though each fell short, I mean, and again, I'm not trying to sell them on, hey, you should feel good about it, because obviously they're bitterly disappointed. But I think you can honor yourself in defeat, and I think both teams did. What's your thought on that?
Exactly the same. Ohio State had to answer that they wouldn't wilt, and they didn't. They just didn't win. There's a difference. Sometimes you play a great game and it doesn't go your way. And that's what happened with Ohio State. I think Michigan is going to be a little bit more disappointed, not because TCU wasn't tremendous, but Michigan made a lot of catastrophic and uncharacteristic mistakes that put them in a bad position. Now, to their credit, they continue to fight back, and to TCU's greater credit, they made the winning plays. But I think Michigan's going to be kicking itself a little bit more. Ohio State's going to be probably just a little more frustrated, disappointed that it just didn't go their way. They played great.
Yeah, Michigan's going to have a hard time trying to figure out how do we get to the 2 and get nothing, get to the 1 and get nothing, and give away 14 on 2 pick sixes, and still have the ball with a chance late. So what a day for college football. You're the voice of the sport here at the network, and you do such a great job with it. As always, I enjoy visiting, particularly on a night like this. Happy New Year, brother, and I'll talk soon, all right?
Happy New Year, my man. What a day it was.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.